Hello everyone, welcome to New Gen Politics. So there's been quite a lot of drama this week in the conservative scene, specifically surrounding the Daily Wire. And the two people mainly responsible for this drama are Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, after Candace Owens said this on her podcast this last week in regards to the third Republican debate.
I am here today to endorse Nikki Haley for president of Israel. I think she's earned that. I think Bibi Netanyahu is going through a very bad time right now. Support for Israel has virtually collapsed socially. If you're paying attention to the trends and you're paying attention to what people are watching, you're paying attention to the protests. And the one person that I think is capable of getting it back is Nikki Haley, with enough money from foreign interest lobbies. So there it is, guys. I'm endorsing Nikki Haley, president of Israel.
So she's obviously being pretty tongue-in-cheek here. She's saying Nikki Haley is pretty obviously Israel first, not America first, and implying she'll spare no expense in order to help Israel, but will not do so to help the American people, with the issues that actually affect them. And in fact, the only candidate who wasn't Israel first at that debate was Vivek Ramaswamy, who was the only candidate who said that they wouldn't give additional money to Israel and would support the Prime Minister of Israel and the State of Israel to do whatever they need to do to combat the terrorists attacking them, but America would focus its efforts on the southern border and the ongoing national security crisis there instead of funding Israel's war. Every other candidate was incredibly pro-Israel. So Candace is saying this America First movement that's taking place in the Conservative Party seems to be not as American first as a lot of them are letting on. They're pretending they're American first and then actually being Israel first. And there's no bigger example of this than Ben Shapiro, who, in response to Candace Owens' comments here, said this at a public event.
And then the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Yeah. Without a doubt. I can't close that. Yeah, I mean, she still works for my company. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
As you hear in this video, Ben's insulting Candace blatantly and publicly, saying that her behavior is disgraceful and saying that she's faux sophisticated. So basically saying that she has no knowledge of what she's talking about, which is just absurd. And he's not saying this to another political pundit. He's saying this to a colleague, a coworker, somebody who should be treated with a level of respect that he's not giving her, because he is so emotionally attached to this event in these circumstances that he refuses to listen to anybody else or treat anybody else with a countering opinion with any level of respect. He immediately disregards their opinion and them as a person. That at least seems to be how he's handling the situation. And we can see this more as this fight was taken to Twitter between the two of them. On Twitter, Candace Owens posted a few quotes from the Bible, from the Beatitudes, and from Jesus, saying, "You should be peacemakers, and you cannot serve two masters," as well as saying you can't serve both God and money. And so that's what a lot of these people want to do, is they want to serve Israel and the United States. They won't pick a side. They're serving two masters. And that's what Ben Shapiro is doing. And how do we know this? Well, because he took it personally. He attributed her simply quoting the Bible to an attack on him. And his response was incredibly escalated, where he said, "Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means, quit." So he's just calling for her to quit for quoting the Bible. And obviously her response to this was pretty drastic, but I think necessary, because I think Ben was way out of line here. She said, quote, "You are utterly out of line for suggesting that I cannot quote biblical scripture. The Bible is not about you." Then proceeded to say Christ is king. She also went on to say, "You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now. And we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it." And even Charlie Kirk had to weigh in on this, on Ben Shapiro's comments. He said, "I'm genuinely confused why asking questions and quoting Bible verses about peace warrants a call for resign from Daily Wire. There should be more room in the conservative movement for disagreement. We can do better than this." So even other conservative pundits are saying, Ben, you are kind of being emotionally unhinged. You're taking this thing too far. You're taking this too personal. Anybody who seems to not only just not attack Israel, but is unwilling to give their full support for Israel above and beyond the US, putting Israel first, anybody who doesn't want to do that is anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, anti-Ben Shapiro, and is personally attacking Ben Shapiro, which is just insane. It's an insane benchmark to say that you have to put Israel first or you're anti-Israel. It's ridiculous. And a lot of people are seeing through this, and a lot of people are changing their minds on their stance of where they put Israel into the equation of where the U.S. should spend its money. And if you've seen Ben Shapiro's videos these last couple of weeks, he has been pretty unhinged. He refuses to listen to anybody's comments or criticisms about Israel's actions. And I'm not saying that everything Israel's done is wrong, but we should be allowed to question some of their actions independently without being harassed and saying that if you question Israel in any capacity, you hate them on a whole, that you're anti-Semitic, because it doesn't work that way. And I'm not saying that everything Israel has done has been wrong, but there are some things that are questionable and should be allowed to be questioned. Certain actions they've taken. Tens of thousands of people are dead, many of whom are civilians, many of whom are children. We should be allowed to question Israel's tactics. We should be allowed to question the necessity of that level of civilian casualty. We should be able to question the collective punishment that all the people of the Gaza Strip are receiving due to Hamas's terroristic actions. But Ben Shapiro refuses to acknowledge any of these things, refuses to even listen to anyone's points, listens to anyone's perspective. He has made up his mind. He is hardline, Israel first, and Israel shall not be questioned at all by anyone, not even his colleagues. And if you do, like in the video, he'll say that your behavior is disgraceful and that you're faux sophisticated. So basically, you're pretending that you know about something that you don't, which Candace Owens is incredibly educated and is incredibly well read on this conflict. So we'll have to see how this progresses, if there will be any more drama at the Daily Wire, what the consequences of this may be for either Ben or Candace. One of them or both of them could end up being fired because of this. And we'll see how other political pundits weigh in. Because currently, Ben Shapiro seems to be losing a lot of support from people in his base and from his colleagues. I mean, just go look at any of his recent videos. His comment section is full of disdain for him. So let me know what you think. Do you think Ben's in the right here? Do you think Candace is in the right? Do you think they both need to cool it with the comments and the actions they've taken? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.